Welcome to another Guide You Outdoors video. Join me as I skin out to my favorite lean-to.
We're gonna make fire using a bow drill set from a standing white pine, a striped maple bow, and a rock.
Come along. Alright, this is what I'm looking for. This is called one-stop shop for fire. This is gonna be like most of my wood for the night. And it's a dead standing pine, so you know, in the winter, sometimes wood's hard to find. This has been upright all winter, just drying. And not only am I gonna make a bow drill set out of it, but I'm gonna have a bunch of wood for my fire once I process all this. So let's drag this back to the shelter and get going. So now what I'm looking for are some nice straight branches or the end for a spindle, and then a nice straight kind of log here for a fireboard. And those will be my two main things I need. And then the rest is firewood. I've broken off the top. It was a nice straight piece towards the top. And what I'm doing is whittling a spindle. So down here I kind of have a duller nipple here, and then on this side I have a pencil tip. So I want less friction, lots of friction. This is the top of my spindle. It's very sharp, not a lot of friction. This is the bottom where it's going to be going into the wood and creating a lot of friction to create that heat and create a little coal. I found a little nice straight board here I'm gonna make using my knife and saw. This is nice and dead, so should saw like butter. Now we want to get a board out of this. So we're gonna take our knife, kind of press it into the top here. This is nice soft dead wood. Find yourself a big ogre club, and then we're gonna try and bash this knife through this piece of wood like that, and then just hit this outer edge. So see how that's flat? If we take it off on the other side very carefully, we'll have a nice board. There's our board. Get the rod out of here. Carve away from yourself. Get these sides off. And we're just gonna try and get this nice and flat. In front of me is everything I need to start a friction fire using a bow drill. So to complete this set, I've got my fireboard and my spindle that I've harvested from a white pine. I have a bow, which is just any piece of bent wood. This happens to be a striped maple root. I have a rock that I picked up, and then you take a hard rock, like a quartz rock, maybe the sharp end, and just drill into this. Hear that sound? Just keep on drilling. This is gonna take a lot of time. We're gonna create a little hole in there, like such. Remember, less friction, lots of friction. So here, this is slipping into that little hole, we get a lot of pressure down, creating a lot of friction here on our fireboard. Next, I've got a saw to cut our notch, a knife, which is always helpful, and I got a tinder bundle, which I have some caribou moss here and some shredded birch bark. I'm gonna take my knife and create a little notch for my spindle to go. This is nice soft wood, so it fits in there very well. All right, so wrap the spindle in your bow, put it in that little notch you've created, okay? And then get your top rock, put it on top here. And we're gonna need to secure this fireboard on the ground here. All right, now we're just trying to start a little hole here. So just go slow, back and forth using the whole bow. Remember to breathe. And once you find your rhythm, apply a lot of pressure on this hand on your top rock. Now that our hole is deep enough, we're gonna cut a notch that our punk can fall in. That's that little sawdusty stuff. It's gonna build up in that notch, reach that section we're making a lot of heat in, and create a coal. Now we've got our notch. It's time to create some heat. Fill that notch up. Now that my notch is filled up with punk, it's time to create a lot of down pressure, a lot of speed, a lot of friction, and heat that thing up so it becomes a coal. All right. There's our coal. Maybe. And we're just gonna take this punk and build it up. Set myself up for success. Grab some pine cones. These are nature's fire starters. Rich, dry stuff that's been hanging up in the trees and it's just fallen, and it's covered in pine pitch as well. So that's gonna be the base. We'll throw all this on top. Let's go check on our coal. Coal's looking really healthy and big. So I have a little nest for it. Gonna create a nice bed for this to go in. Drop our coal in and scoot it through the center a little. And broke it, that's not a good sign. And then just gentle breaths. There we go. There's our bow drill fire. And now I just set it in those pine cones, maybe get one on top there. Throw this over. And there you have it. Fire.
Thanks for watching. Bow drilling is one of the hardest ways to make a fire. So be persistent, practice often, and don't give up.